Yes, people, it's off script and in association with the lovely GYMPRO, and we're joined by the lovely Whitney.
Hello.
How are you doing?
How are you guys?
We're all good.
Good to see you again.
Yeah, good to see you again as well. So obviously, the fights were cancelled a few days ago.
Oh my God.
It said fights off.
It was like, what? It was like panic mode, because I was like, okay, wait, hold on. That first fight cannot be the only thing out there of me fighting. I have to get another go at getting in the ring. So I'm just happy to be here. I'm just happy
And on the zone as well. Not any broadcasting, one of the biggest in the world.
I'm like, wow. It is kind of like a pinch me moment, this whole thing. So I'm just happy. I'm just happy it's happening. Yeah.
So let's touch base on that first fight. We've got Barbie actually standing right there. How was that? Obviously, I had you winning that, and then it didn't go your way, but it was a great fight nonetheless.
It was, it was one thing where I was like, okay, my game plan really went out the window. It was very overwhelming. I mean, for anybody, I tried not to be too hard on myself, even though I'm probably my worst critic, but it's like, it's your first fight. Yeah. It's in front of 13,000 people at Wembley Arena. Very intimidating. The lights, you're not even really knowing what to expect in a fight in general. And then, she was a much bigger, stronger opponent. And just technically her style of fighting is not something that I was dealing with at all in my training. I was dealing with a lot of very technical MMA and boxing partners. So for me, it was just very overwhelming of like, what do I even do in this situation? And then the adrenaline's hitting you and the nerves, and it's just like, get into a brawl. And the one thing it did teach me is, at least I don't quit.
No.
I don't quit, and I have a good chin, and nobody's ever gonna make me quit. So that's one thing that you can't teach that brings me a lot of confidence, and it informed my camp so much on this one of just all the little things that I needed to work on. Now it was like I had an exact game plan, and I really need to just train mentally to not let the nerves overtake. That was the biggest thing, is like not letting the nerves get you out of your head and you're out of your game plan.
Now I wanted to talk about, and actually take my hat off to you. You got knocked down and you got up. What was it like? What was that experience like? Not everyone's able to do that.
Oh my gosh, I was so taken off guard, and it did kind of rock me. I had never really been rocked in sparring or anything, and I was like, and at that point I was so tired, exhausted from that was round 4 of the fight. I got knocked down. It was like, fuck, what just happened? I'm on my ass. And then I'm like, nope, I'm getting up. I don't care. There is no way I'm quitting. Or, I was like, at that point, I already kind of knew, well, you lost the fight. But, it was like, I'm not gonna quit, and I'm gonna fight really hard on the 5th round, and that's what I did. So, I think that's.
So now, is Barbie the hardest hitter that you've ever faced?
Oh my gosh, absolutely.
She cracks.
Yeah, she cracks, man. And I hit with hard. I spar with very strong girls at the gym too. But I think in a fight, we're not trying to kill each other or knock each other out at the gym. So it was definitely the hardest. It was the hardest session I've had in terms of a spar, fight, anything. So
now talk to me about your upcoming fight. How have you adapted, and how are you going to enter the ring this time?
It's just a different energy. There's not so much of the unknown now. There's less fear. Of course, you're gonna have nerves. Anytime you perform, you're gonna have nerves. But I think it was so much an emphasis on defense, so much of an emphasis on just movement. Just learning how to move as a boxer was not something that I was even able to integrate into my training or understanding on the first camp. It was 10 weeks of fight training, and other than that, I had never really done any kind of fight training. So I think with just time and just allowing that to kind of integrate is the biggest thing. Now I kind of have a better understanding of just how your body is going to move is going to naturally set up your next shot. Instead of having to think so hard and muscle your shots so much,
So you go in there on Saturday, you get the win. I've got my fingers crossed. What is next? Do you want that Barbie rematch, or anywhere else in the tournament?
I would love that. I would love to get through the 3, and then I would love to rematch with Barbie, because I would really like to redeem myself. And perform up to my abilities. That was the biggest thing that was so disappointing. It was not a reflection of my abilities. That was why it was very heartbreaking for me, because it was like, oh man, I shit the bed.
You did very well. I would have complained. It's a learning lesson.
It was such a learning lesson, and you know, it's a humbling sport. Yeah, exactly. It was definitely the most. But I was very proud of myself, all in all, that like I didn't stand down, and you know, you know, it was a big way to challenge yourself. That's what I came here to do. So
now this is tournament boxing. We got really impressive fighters on it.
Yeah.
Who do you think is actually going to win this tournament, and who will make it into the finals?
oh my gosh, I think. I mean, honestly, I think Barbie's probably gonna win.
Yeah.
Just but from fighting her, and I know she's worked really hard on her technique and this camp. You know, she's gonna come back a completely different boxer as far as technique goes. Ella's obviously got the experience. She's really talented. She's really good. But I don't know. Julie put on a great performance too. Honestly, it could be any of the four. And then from the guys' side, I could see either Jarvis, Winderson.
Hey.
From what I've seen, I'm like, those guys could potentially go pro. But again, Kenny's amazing. Gibb is amazing. That's why these fights are so exciting. I feel like this card is so good.
So competitive.
So good. Yeah. It's going to be fun. It's exciting.
Well, now we have a little segment we want to introduce to you. This is a little one-word question interview. So we're going to ask you some questions, and you've got to respond with one word.
One word.
Okay.
Got it.
I'm going to whip up these questions.
So the first question I have for you: King Kenny versus Winderson.
Winderson.
Gibb versus Jarvis.
Jarvis.
Thoughts on your opponent?
Adorable.
That's a good one. That's a good one.
That's pretty well done.
You want your next fight to be against?
Ola.
Dream opponent?
Alicia Baumgartner.
Inspiration for fighting?
Growth.
The 3 Arena?
Awesome.
What people will see on fight night?
Monster.
And your that's good. I like that. And your final message to your opponent?
I love you, but you know, you're gonna get your face punched, and that's okay. So am I.
That's fine. That's acceptable.
That's what we came here to do.
And how we sign off here on Off Script is that we actually give you the mic. We give you a chance to speak to the audience.
Thanks.
And tell them. It's your time.
All right, guys, if I could say anything, it would be to try something in combat sports, because there is nothing that will make you grow more as a person, physically, mentally, spiritually, emotionally. If you have it in you, try something in combat sports. You will not regret it. It's going to be the hardest thing you've ever done, but you will be very glad that you did it.
Amazing. Thank you very much.
Really appreciate it.
Go on.